Hey fam, stop whatever you're doing right now. Just stop. Because what I'm about to tell you is something that nobody has sat you down and said to your face, and you need to hear it, not skim it, not half listen to it while you're doing something else. You need to actually receive this. So take a breath, be here, because this one is for you. You have absolutely no idea how famous you are among the people who matter most. And I mean that in the most real, most grounded, most honest way possible. Your name, your actual name, has made it into rooms you have never physically walked into. Rooms where the air is different, where the conversations are deeper, where the decisions are bigger, where the people sitting around the table built things from nothing and know exactly what they're looking for in another human being. And they are looking for you. Oh, they are already looking for you. Before we continue, I want to share something with you. Unfortunately, our channel has been fully demonetized, which means we no longer earn any revenue from ads. This has made it more challenging for us to continue producing the content you've been enjoying. If our videos have inspired you, motivated you, or helped you push through difficult times, please consider supporting us through a super thanks link in the description. Now, let's continue. Because here's what I've come to understand about life at the highest level. The most powerful thing you can have is not a title. It's not a number in a bank account. It's not a list of achievements framed on a wall. The most powerful thing you can carry, the thing that opens doors that have no visible handles, that gets your name spoken in rooms you've never entered, is reputation. Not the kind you build by performing for people, not the kind you manufacture through appearances and highlight reels, but the kind that gets quietly built brick by brick every single time you choose to show up with your full self, your full integrity, your full fire, especially when nobody is watching. That's the kind you have. That's the kind that travels. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're sitting there with that little voice in the back of your mind saying, "But I haven't done enough yet. I'm still figuring it out. I'm not where I want to be." And I hear that. I genuinely do, because I've sat with that voice too. Most people who end up doing truly great things spent a significant chapter of their life convinced they were behind, convinced they were still too early, still too unfinished, still too much of a work in progress to be relevant to anyone at that level. But here's what that voice never tells you. It never tells you that while you're looking at yourself and seeing all the gaps, all the unfinished edges, all the distance between where you are and where you want to be, other people are looking at you and seeing something completely different. They're seeing what you've already built. They're seeing how you carry yourself. They're seeing how you treat people. They're seeing the way you think, the way you move, the way you respond when things get hard. They're seeing the version of you that you've been too close to properly appreciate. And that version is extraordinary. Let me tell you something about the elite circles. And I don't mean elite in the way people throw that word around casually. I mean the people who actually built something. The ones who sat in the fire long enough to become something unbreakable. Those people have a gift, a rare and almost unsettling gift. They can look at another human being and immediately recognize potential that the person themselves hasn't fully claimed yet. It's like they have a different kind of vision. They don't just see what's in front of them. They see what's coming. They see trajectory. They see the line extending outward from where someone is right now into where that person is going. And they've seen your line, and they like where it's heading. Ha 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 ha. I know. I know it sounds almost too good. It sounds like the kind of thing someone says to motivate you but doesn't actually mean. But stay with me, because this isn't inspiration for inspiration's sake. This is just the truth of how the world works when you've been doing the right things long enough. The world is smaller than we think, especially at a certain level. Word gets around, quality gets recognized, and people who know what they're looking for, they find it, even when it hasn't announced itself yet. Picture this: a room, a dinner, the kind of gathering that doesn't get publicized anywhere, the kind where the invitations are whispered, not sent, where the people sitting at the table have more combined wisdom and experience than most institutions could claim. And somewhere in the middle of a deep, unscripted conversation, the kind that only happens when everyone at the table is comfortable enough to be real, a name comes up. Your name, not because you were introduced, not because you sent anything, pitched anything, asked to be considered, but because the conversation arrived at a place where someone needed to name a person who actually has it, who actually carries that thing that can't be taught. And without missing a beat, someone leaned forward and said your name like it was the most obvious answer in the world. Do you feel that? That's not fiction. That is the exact mechanism by which the most significant opportunities in life get created. Not through formal applications, not through loud self-promotion, through reputation, through someone who knows you and trusts what they know about you enough to put your name on the table in a room full of people who take names seriously. Your name is already on that table. Now here's where I need you to shift something inside yourself. Because knowing this isn't enough. Feeling good about it isn't enough. What I need you to do, what this moment is actually asking of you, is to start carrying yourself in alignment with who you already are in those rooms. Because there is a gap right now, and the gap isn't in your ability. The gap isn't in your potential. The gap isn't in what other people think of you. The gap is between how they see you and how you see yourself. And that gap, that one specific gap, is the only thing that can slow you down at this point. Not your circumstances, not your resources, not your starting point or your background or the obstacles that have been placed in your path. All of those things you have navigated, all of those things you are still navigating, and you are doing it. But the one thing, the single most important thing, is whether you are willing to look at yourself the way the people in those rooms look at you, with full recognition, with zero apology, with the absolute unshakable knowing that you belong at every table you are called to. Because here's the painful and beautiful truth about most great people. They almost didn't make it, not because the world wasn't ready for them, but because they almost talked themselves out of it. They almost let the inner noise drown out the signal. They almost chose smallness because smallness felt safer. They almost stayed behind the door because nobody had ever specifically said to them, "Walk through. You are exactly who we've been waiting for." So consider this me saying that to you. Walk through. You are exactly who they have been waiting for. I need you to understand something about the way greatness actually travels in this world. It does not wait for permission. It does not wait for the perfect moment when all the stars are aligned and every condition is favorable and every fear has been resolved. Greatness moves. It decides. It acts with the full understanding that readiness is not a feeling, it is a choice. And the people who have made it to those exclusive rooms, who built things that lasted, who left marks that couldn't be erased, every single one of them made a decision at some point that was bigger than their fear. A decision that said, I am no longer going to manage my potential like it's something fragile. I am going to unleash it like it's something powerful, because it is. Yours is, and the elites who are already saying your name, they can feel that power from a distance. They recognized it before you gave them any formal reason to. Because power like that doesn't hide well. Character like that leaks through everything. The way you speak, the way you think, the way you treat the people around you, the way you carry your vision even on the days when it feels heavy. It all adds up. It all gets noticed. It all travels further than you know. So let me ask you something, and I want you to sit with this question genuinely. Not rush past it, not give it a quick answer and move on. Really sit with it. What would change about the way you move through your days if you truly believed that the most powerful people in your field already considered you one of them? What would change about how you walk into a room? What would change about how you speak about your work? What would change about how you value your time, your energy, your ideas? What would change about the standards you hold yourself to, the opportunities you say yes to, the ones you finally feel worthy of saying yes to? Because I think everything would change. And I think that change is overdue. You have been doing the quiet work, the unglamorous work, the work that doesn't always get applause, doesn't always get seen, doesn't always come with validation attached to it. And I know that can feel lonely. I know there are days when you wonder if any of it is landing anywhere, if any of it matters, if the effort is actually connecting to anything real on the other side. It is. Every single day that you chose to keep going, that counted. Every single moment you chose to be honest when it would have been easier to take a shortcut, that counted. Every single time you brought something real into a space when everyone else was bringing performance, that counted. The universe keeps extraordinary books. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. Every act of courage, every moment of genuine effort, every time you chose to become more instead of settling for less, it all compounded, quietly, steadily, powerfully. And it has been building a version of you that other people can already see clearly, even if you're still in the process of recognizing it fully yourself. So today, not tomorrow. Not after one more achievement, not once you feel more ready. Today, I want you to decide to close that gap, to see yourself as they see you, to carry yourself as the person who already belongs in those rooms. Because you do. You already do. Your name is in the rooms. The elites already made their decision about you. The only decision left is yours. Make it.